Hey there, Marie. I heard that you and my brother finally found a place where you both want to move into. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess you've already heard the big news then. But Randy and I were going to be moving into our new house next month. Isn't that exciting? We hope that you and all your family can come and visit us there as soon as we have everything unpacked and cleaned up.
Oh, we just love to do that, but I heard that your new house is going to be pretty far from Randy's work. Is that true?
Yeah, it is going to be just a little far for Randy, unfortunately. But it's just such a good house that neither of us were considering not snatching it up when we saw it. It's only a few years old and also seems perfect for us since we have pets.
I see. Well, I really am glad that you two are so pleased with what you found then. That's great news. I guess that means that you didn't like the houses that I sent over as suggestions when you were still looking?
Well, Randy was the one who was looking into the houses that you sent, but then he started looking into the neighborhoods they were located in, and they didn't seem so great. And I guess I'm just a bit of a scaredy cat, so I asked that we live somewhere else. But thank you so much for wanting to help us with our search. It really did mean a lot that you wanted to give us a hand.
No, I am so sorry that I didn't do better research and just sent you what I thought looked nice and in your price range. I didn't bother to do any further reading about the neighborhoods or schools or anything like that.
Well, it really isn't a problem at all now that we found the new house that we're going to live in. I'm just so happy that the search is finally over and we found the place that we want to live.
Speaking of, I guess this means that you two are going to have to really start nailing down those wedding plans then, right? I heard through the grapevine that you were having some trouble finding a venue for the wedding, though.
Yeah, we were having a bit of trouble, but we finally managed to find a spot and put in reservations.
Oh, really? So then you two did end up finding a spot to have your wedding as well?
Well, you remember that one spot that I was talking to you about the last time that we met up, don't you?
I remember you telling me that more than any other place in the world, you wanted to get married there.
Exactly, that place.
But you also told me that it was really, really popular and might be impossible to ever get a reservation in on time.
I know, and I really did think that it was going to be too difficult to do that. But I just didn't give up. I called them a couple times a week to ask about any cancellations, and then finally a space opened up.
So then you basically just kept hounding them until there was an availability?
I mean, basically. But you have to be persistent if you want a reservation at this place. So, one day, I called them and they said there were some open dates right around when we were wanting to get married. So I booked a day right away.
Wow, well, good for you. It sounds like things are really starting to come together for you and Randy then, aren't they?
I sure hope so. I mean, these all seem like good signs to me. But man, it has been so difficult trying to nail everything down. I mean, it's been a while since I felt like I was fighting this hard for bookings and open houses and all these stuff.
I see. Well, you know that you can always ask me for a little help if you need it. I'm more than willing to give a hand if you need it.
Thank you so much. I mean, you really don't know how much it means to have someone that I can talk to about all of this. And since you offered, I really just might end up taking you up on that. I really am glad that I have such a great sister-in-law like you that I can always count on. Thanks again for everything.
Oh, don't make me blush. You know that I'm just happy to be there for you when you need me. Just let me know if there's anything else you might need. By the way, does that mean that you've officially booked and paid for the wedding venue? I assume so, since you were so set on getting a date there.
I'm actually going to call them in a week to try and finalize everything. I didn't have all the money I would need to make the booking when I made the reservation a week ago.
I see. Well, yeah, that sounds like you still might have a lot on your plate for the time being, then. Maybe best to get back home and think all of this through so it all goes along smoothly. I had one friend who just kind of rushed their wedding plans without stepping back to think about the wider picture and the larger plan, and they ended up with a very expensive ceremony that they were only okay with.
Oh, I see. Well, that is a good point then. I don't want to dig myself into a hole that I won't be able to get out of. You're right. I guess there is still quite a bit that I need to think about. But I'm really glad that you came to me so that I could talk to you about all of this.
Of course, it's my pleasure. I know that there are probably a million things going on inside of your head right now, so it can be hard to keep everything straight. But for now, you've gotten your dream wedding venue booked, and that's a huge check on your to-do list. By the way, is it really true that your wedding day is the same day you and Randy had your first date?
Yes, it is true. But that isn't actually why we chose to go with that date. It just so happened that our schedules happened to match up around that time of year, and then that day happened to be free.
I see, but then again, it would be kind of hard not to go with a date like that, right? I mean, it's just too perfect if you ask me.
I mean, you're very right there. I'd be lying if I said that we didn't know what we were doing at all.
That's great. Well, anyways, my boss is calling me into his office right now, so I think I have to go.
Oh, yes, I guess lunch is almost over, isn't it? I guess I should probably start getting things ready as well.
Of course. So sorry for taking up your lunch break talking about this.
It was no bother at all. I really enjoyed catching up with you and getting to talk about all of this. Thank you for listening and for offering so much helpful advice.
It's my pleasure. I guess we'll talk later then. Have a good day.
Hey Hilda, are you there? Do you have a second to talk? I was just wondering if I could talk to you about something really quick.
Yeah, sure. What's up? Did you have another wedding question or something?
Well, the thing is that my reservation at that venue I was talking to you about got canceled.
Oh, really? You mean you got a call from there saying that your reservation was gone or something?
Hilda, I am going to ask you straight, so please don't play dumb with me. Were you the one who canceled it?
What? What do you mean by that? I'm sure I have no idea at all what you're talking about. How could you just accuse me of something like that? It doesn't make any sense. I'm shocked that you would even say something like that.
I think the one who is most shocked here is me. I mean, how could you do this to me? When I called them and they said the reservations had been canceled, I asked what phone number they got a call from to do that. And they gave me your phone number, Hilda.
Wait, what? The staff members actually gave you my phone number? What is the matter with them? Don't they know anything about privacy laws? They can't just hand out my personal information like that.
Well, I asked them to help me confirm how many reservations were canceled without my knowing. They gave me your number because it was attached to my file that they had on hand. Thankfully, I won't have to pay any kind of cancellation fee for what you've done. But I can't believe that you would do this to me.
But what other choice did I have? I can't just have you marrying my brother, you know.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that? I don't get it.
I mean that you really think you're good enough to be with someone as cool and smart and handsome as Randy? You're just a fat, ugly nobody. You were never ever going to be accepted into this family. I guess you haven't figured this out yet, but Randy basically only dates fat, ugly girls like you to make himself feel better.
No, that can't be right. You're lying to me.
You really think that me, his sister, who has seen every girl Randy has brought home, is lying to you about this? No, it's the truth. You never stood a chance of actually joining our family, so you might as well just cancel your engagement with Randy right now.
But I can't do that.
So you mean to tell me that even though you know your fiancé's sister is against your marriage, you're still going to try and go through with it? You really are a troublesome woman, do you know that? Honestly, I would be impressed if it wasn't so obnoxious.
You know, I've always felt that way. Like I wasn't good enough to be with Randy. I never could see what he saw in me. But the fact of that matter is that I want to marry him and he wants to marry me, and that's all that matters.
Of course that's not all that matters. I won't let you two get married. You'll see.
What do you mean? How on earth do you think you're going to stop us from getting married?
Because I'll stop at nothing to make sure that your wedding doesn't happen. It isn't fair. You don't deserve to be happy, and you don't deserve to be in my family. So you can count me out of your wedding. Do you understand? And just how do you think Randy is going to act when he learns that his own sister isn't going to be at his wedding?
Well, I think that you would really upset him if you did that, actually.
That's kind of the whole point, Marie. I am going to show my brother that a woman like you is just going to make him sad. And then every day, he'll start to love you less and less, until your marriage is nothing but a sham. And then he'll have hopefully realized what a mistake he's made being with you, and then he'll finally leave your fat ass.
I don't get it. Is all this hate for me really just because I'm a heavier person? I mean, do you just want me to lose weight?
It doesn't matter if you lose weight now, you'll still be a fat person at heart. Nothing you ever do will overcome that.
Hilda, that is a really awful way to view people, I think. But I'm afraid that it isn't going to change the way that I feel about your brother. Anyways, I'm going to tell Randy about what you did to our wedding plans.
Fine, go ahead and tell him. See if I care. I'm going to go and tell him that your wedding is off. I'm going to ask him to leave you and find someone better and more well-suited to him. After all, I have plenty of friends that he can pick from.
And you really think that your brother is just going to go along with all of that?
I think that I'll show my brother the tier of woman he can get with if he wants. And once he realizes how horrible you are in comparison, he'll surely choose to marry someone else. So I wouldn't hold your breath on this wedding happening.
Hilda, are you there? We have seriously got to talk. What is the matter with you? Why would you just send trash to my workplace? That was you again, wasn't it?
What are you talking about this time? Why are you always trying to blame me for all the problems going on in your life?
Are you telling me that this really wasn't you? Because I am seriously thinking of reporting this to the police and they will find out who sent it.
Okay then, go report your little trash problem to the police. Don't waste my time like you're doing now, though.
Now, Hilda, I understand that for whatever reason you really don't seem to like me. But you can't go taking out this weird grudge of yours while I'm at work, okay? It's just unacceptable.
No, you know it's unacceptable, just how unbearable having to deal with you is. Why won't you just leave my brother already? I mean, I heard that you two are legally married now. Did my opposition mean nothing to you? I told you that you two weren't allowed to get married.
And I thought I told you that was something between Randy and I. You don't have a say in whether or not we get married, do you understand? And nothing you say now is going to change anything.
Well, you two better not have your actual wedding, or else there is going to be serious hell to pay. I will make sure that the whole thing comes crashing down around you.
I don't get it, Hilda. I thought that you and I were getting along so well. I really don't know what I did to make you dislike me, but I just wish that we could be adults and talk this out.
Talk this out? I don't ever want to see your face again, let alone talk anything out. I mean, how dare you get married to my brother? No, you and I are never ever going to see each other again.
Are you really sure you want to leave things like this? I mean, I'm sure that Randy would love to talk to you about this as well. I think he's starting to get really confused and upset with you. Don't you at least want to explain yourself to your brother? I mean, I know how close the two of you are and I don't want to ruin that.
Oh, please. If you didn't want to ruin it, then you should have stayed away from him in the first place. Just your existence is ruining what he had together. I knew my brother before you even knew he existed. And yet now you think you can just barge in, marry him, and pretend like it's nothing.
Hilda, is that how you really feel about all of this? Then I really just don't know what to say. But I want you to know that your brother makes me very happy, and I make him happy, and I'm not sure what about that makes you so unhappy.
I don't even care what the two of you do anymore. Just know that I am not going to let you get away with this. And I just want you to know that you're going to look hideous in your wedding dress, and everyone is going to talk about how horrible you look and what an awful couple you are. So enjoy your wedding when everyone is talking behind your back. Hey there, Marie. I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry about what happened to your wedding.
Hey, Hilda, sorry. What do you mean by that exactly?
I just mean about your wedding ceremony, you know? I know that my brother said the whole thing was off, right? But you know that my brother isn't even upset about it? He said that if I wasn't going to be at the wedding, then it wasn't one that he should be having. So I guess that means that you've been officially dumped and left all on your own.
No, actually, I'm pretty sure he just told you that so you would keep quiet and stay out of our way. But we've already had our wedding.
Wait, what? What do you mean? Randy told me yesterday that nothing was going to happen. What do you mean that your wedding already happened?
I mean that it literally just happened. We just wrapped it up right now. Randy figured that you would trust whatever he told you, so he came up with that lie so that you wouldn't interfere with us.
But I don't understand. This isn't making any sense to me. How could this be?
Well, it happened because I told him all about how you canceled our wedding venue reservations and kept threatening to do even more if the two of us got married.
So then, you two really already got married? And you did it today? That still doesn't make sense, though. I mean, our parents left to go abroad just a few days ago. Are you telling me that they weren't there either?
No, the wedding was in Italy and your parents are here with us.
But you mean you all went to go to your wedding in Italy and you left me here all alone?
Yep. Not just your parents, though. Plenty of your relatives and mine showed up to help Randy and I celebrate. Of course, I am still upset that we couldn't get the original venue that we wanted, but I'm not about to complain about what we ended up with.
No, this can't be happening. I mean, I thought you had given up on the wedding. I didn't even hear that you made a second reservation for another venue, but now you're telling me it's because you made your plans in Italy?
Yeah. It was a bit last minute, I will admit. And even though I saw so many of our relatives were there, that was basically it. It was a very small ceremony, and there couldn't have been more than a couple dozen people.
So then you two went through with it, and everyone knows about it? Randy, Mom, and Dad all lied to me about the wedding and then left without saying a word to me about it?
That's right. We were all really thinking hard about what to do with you. Then your mom told us about how you went through her phone. Something that you do a lot, I guess? To find out when our wedding was going to be happening. So that's when we realized that he just had to keep our plans absolutely secret. And that's when Randy suggested getting married overseas. So we left no traces of texts and did all of our planning and coordination over the phone.
So you all tricked me. You all went this far just to keep me from knowing about the wedding. I thought we were all family here. This wasn't supposed to happen like this. How could you all do this to me?
I asked you to accept that Randy and I were getting married over and over again. But all you did was return that with threats that you would do something to ruin our wedding. You put me into the position where I felt like I couldn't do anything but lie to you. And all your family agreed that it was the best way to keep you from doing anything that would completely embarrass your brother and I. If you don't like what's happened, I'm afraid that you have no one to blame but yourself.
But I don't get it. Randy told me that you two weren't getting married. My own brother lied to me. I've tried texting him, but he isn't reading any of my messages now.
Well, that's probably because him and your parents have all decided to block you while we're here. We just wanted nothing to do with you after all that you've been putting me through. And quite frankly, I'm really not sure if they're going to want to do anything with you when we get back. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have my honeymoon to enjoy. After her parents got back from Italy, they talked to Hilda and told her that they were cutting her out of their lives and never wanted to see her again. They also promised Randy and I not to ever tell Hilda a word about us ever again. We even had to find a new house to move into since Hilda found out where we were planning on going. Although that was a search that I started as soon as I learned that Hilda canceled my wedding venue reservations. As for Hilda, she fell into a deep depression after her family basically all turned their backs on her. I guess she just couldn't bring herself to understand why this was her fault. I can only hope for her sake, though, that one day she realizes the mistake she made. And maybe by the time she does that, all of us will finally be ready to let her back into our lives. Thank you for watching! If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Clarence, are you there? Is everything okay over there? I just noticed that you haven't sent me my money this month, and I was wondering if you could hurry up and do that. I don't know how much longer you're going to keep me waiting.
I'm really sorry, but I can't send you the money right now, Mom. I still haven't gotten paid this month, so I just don't have the funds to be able to.
What are you talking about? It's almost the end of the month. We're on the 25th right now, and you usually get paid on the 23rd.
Well, sometimes the days that I get paid change with the weekends or holidays that are in a certain month. So I don't think that I'm going to get paid until later this week, unfortunately.
That's ridiculous. Who ever heard of a job doing that to their own employees? I hope you're not trying to back out of our deal, Clarence. You know that you have to send me $2,000 a month as part of your punishment.
But Mom, I can't afford to send you that much money every month. By the time I pay, I hardly have enough for myself. And besides, it's not like I didn't tell you already that there were going to be days when I might get paid later or earlier. Please, Mom, can't you just stop this already? I mean, you can't keep blaming me for what happened.
And just what is that supposed to mean? Are you seriously trying to complain to me about this right now?
I'm not complaining about anything. I'm just asking you to stop, Mom.
Stop what, huh? If you have something to say, then come out and say it. Or did you forget just who it was who raised you?
I know that you raised me, Mom. I'm not trying to be ungrateful or anything like that.
If you really understand, then stop complaining about what I tell you and just say okay. And give me my $2,000 already.
But I don't get why I'm the only one who had to pay you. I mean, why don't you ask him to pay you anything? She's your daughter, isn't she?
Unlike you, that girl has her life put together. She doesn't even live at home anymore. Meanwhile, you're still here leeching off me like you're a child. So I don't get why you're complaining when you live here, and all I'm asking you to do is pay your fair share of rent and utilities. I thought you were a man, so quit acting like a big baby.
I'm sorry, but just what does me being a man have to do with any of this?
Well, you're a man, so you should be fine going out and working, coming home and giving your wife your salary. That's how it's going to work when you finally find someone and get married.
I know that was the setup that you and Dad had throughout your marriage. But look what happened to him, Mom. He worked so hard that he had a heart attack in the office and died.
I know, can you believe what a weakling he was? A real man wouldn't just fold under a little bit of pressure like that. Besides, he hardly even made enough money for us, so I can't say that it was too great of a loss.
Mom, how can you say that about your own husband? That's my father that you're talking about.
And now that you're grown up, you really are just like him. And by that, I mean that you're both ugly little whiners. I wish that I married a real man's man. Then I wouldn't have to be dealing with all this sniveling in my life.
Well, I'm glad that I'm like Dad. I loved him and he was a good man.
Well, then I guess the pathetic apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Thank goodness I have at least someone I can count on in my life with Kim. And you really need to open your eyes and face the truth that I'm really not that bad. If I was such an awful mother, then why am I letting you stay in this house with me, huh? I would say it's quite benevolent of me.
Benevolent? Are you kidding me with that?
You really are just a useless dolt, aren't you? Why couldn't you be more like your sister? I'll just never understand where I went wrong with you. We may have the same genes, but I still wonder just how I ended up with you for a son.
Well, speaking of Kim, I heard that she's gotten engaged now, is that right?
Oh, did you hear about that?
Yeah, she sent me a message about it last night, actually. She wanted to brag about how much better her life was going than mine was, actually.
Well, understand why I should want to brag about something so wonderful. I mean, you would want to brag too if you had a husband like that, don't you think?
Oh, I know all about her fiancé, thank you very much. He was actually an old classmate of mine in college.
Oh, really? Is that so? I actually had no idea about that.
Well, I'm not sure if he knows who I am, but I certainly know who he is. He was a bit of a rising star in my department.
I knew that he was a brilliant man, but it's good to know that he's always been so smart ever since he was a young man. And now he's working for a huge company and engaged to marry my daughter. Everything is falling into place.
Yeah, I wonder about that. But I guess I just wouldn't be able to say much about these kinds of things anyway.
That's right, you would have no idea about any of this. You've never brought a girl back home for me to meet in your entire life. Of course, it would be hard to imagine a girl that would want to date a loser like you anyway.
You know that I do have a girlfriend, right?
What? You have a girlfriend? You must think I'm an idiot if you're going to try to sell me a lie like that.
It's not a lie, Mom. I really do have a girlfriend.
Okay, then who is she? Where did you even meet this girlfriend of yours?
She's a woman from my work, and we've been going out for the past 6 months or so, if you must know.
Well, she must be a really weird lady to want to go out with someone like you. But maybe that's where all that money you should have been paying me has been going. She's probably just with you because you've been paying for everything, huh?
Actually, that's not what we've been doing at all. We've been splitting all the bills that we have between ourselves while we've been dating.
Oh, really? Well, in that case, why not think about marrying this girl? If she's really the kind of girl to pull her own weight, then I wouldn't object to it. You could invite her to come and live with us. And then I'd have a little servant girl that I could order around however I wanted to.
I don't think that we're going to get married, Mom. I would never want to expose her to how horrible it would be living with you.
So you're just not going to get married for your entire life? Is that what you're telling me right now? You can't really mean that, right? Don't you see how happy your sister is now that she's about to get married? Clarence, you've been coming home far too late these days. What in the world could be taking you so long, huh? What could you possibly be doing that's keeping you out?
Well, I was at a conference for work all day, and now I'm out grabbing drinks with some people from the office. But I'll still be able to catch the last subway home, so I'll just be a little later.
I don't trust you. I think that something's up. You've been coming home later, and you're hardly ever home on your days off, too. What are you up to, huh?
I'm sorry, Mom. I'm just really busy with work and have things to do.
No, that can't be it. You're out running around with that little girlfriend of yours, aren't you? You get your first girlfriend, and suddenly you think you don't need to care at all about being at home with your mother.
I don't really see what the big deal is, Mom. I mean, I don't remember you ever giving me a curfew or anything like that. Since when do I have to be home at a certain time?
You don't have a curfew because I didn't think that you would need one. But now I'm telling you that I want you home right now, and you're acting like you're not going to listen to me.
I'm not listening because I'm an adult, and if I want to go home late, I have that right. You wouldn't be saying this if I was working late and not home yet.
You really have some nerve, do you know that? Just who do you think you are, talking to your mother like this, you little brat? As a punishment for your sass, I demand that you come home by 7 every night.
At 7? Are you kidding me? Are you seriously trying to give me a curfew? At my age? I'm not some little kid anymore, Mom. I'm an adult, and I am not going to go along with that.
You don't get to disagree with me, Clarence. I am your mother, and you will do as I say. Do you understand me?
Oh, just give me a break already, Mom. I may be your son, but you do not control my life, and I am my own person.
What did you just say to me?
I mean that ever since I was little, you have always been trying to control my life and what I do. All I wanted was the freedom to live my own life, and now I have reached the limits of my patience. I am not going to do what you tell me, Mom.
How dare you talk to your mother like this? You're not going to get away with this, you little brat. You need to learn some respect, young man.
Respect? Mom, I have been so patient with you that I might as well be a saint. You and Kim have both done nothing but put me down. Well, now I don't want anything to do with either of you. Got it?
Oh, give me a break. You don't really mean that, Clarence.
I do. And I am not going to be following any sort of ridiculous curfew. I pay to live here, so I will do what I want, and you don't get to tell me how to live my life.
Clarence, I have made a decision and I want you out of the house. You have until tomorrow to pack up your things and get out. I don't care where you go, but you will not stay here any longer.
What are you talking about? You're seriously going to kick me out of the house?
That's right. You are going to leave, and Kim and her husband are going to move in. I don't need you in my life either.
Wait, what? Kim and her husband are going to come in and live with you instead? But I thought that they were living with her husband's family at their house.
That's right. But Kim's husband's sister is also going to be moving in, and the house is going to get quite cramped with her. Besides, your sister just had her kid and they need the space for their growing family. I know that we're in a bit of a rural area, but I think that living here is going to give them the space that they need. It will really help them with raising their kid.
And so that's why you're just going to kick me out of the house. I don't get it. I've been paying to live here this whole time, and you're just going to kick me out with a day's notice to leave.
Oh, what on earth are you talking about? You're only living here because I've been allowing you to live here. And now your sister and her family really need to be living in a house like this. And don't you start with me about the money that you send. You don't even give me that much anyways, so I don't want to hear about it from you.
Are you kidding me with that? I literally give you more than half of every single one of my paychecks. How can you say that's not a lot?
It's not a lot because it's what you should be giving to me as your mother anyways. Consider it a way of paying me back for all the time I sunk into raising you.
You're seriously going to be charging your own children for raising them? I'm not an investment, Mom. You can't just start demanding returns on the effort you sunk into me.
Maybe not if you're going to be like this. But all that says is that you're a terrible son. Which is all the more reason for your sister's family to come and take your place.
All right, fine, whatever. I just hope you don't regret this, Mom.
You think that I'm going to regret kicking you out? You have no idea what you're talking about. Getting rid of you is going to be a blessing. I never want to hear from you ever again. You are no son of mine. Clarence, are you there? Kim and I, all of us here, we need your help.
What kind of creepy message is that to send so early in the morning? Anyways, I'm actually just about to head out to work, so whatever this is, make it quick, please.
I am trying to ask for your help, Clarence. Don't be so rude. Besides, I don't know who else I could turn to for this. It's really serious.
What is that supposed to mean? What is it, Mom? Just tell me what you want.
Something just terrible has happened, and I really need your help. That's what I want.
You mean that something bad is happening with Kim and her family? You're not giving me answers.
That's right. So then you've already heard a little bit about what's been going on between us all.
No, Mom, I literally have no clue. That is what I'm trying to ask of you right now. Not that I'd want to help you anyways. I thought that things might end up this way for you if I'm being honest.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
Well, I told you that Kim's husband and I went to the same college, right? Back then, there were quite a few rumors spreading around the school about him. People were always talking about how he'd go through girlfriends so quickly after getting into some fight or acting violently towards them.
Wait, what? You mean that you knew these rumors about him since college? Why didn't you tell your sister before she got married? How could you just let her walk into that situation blind? What's the matter with you?
I did tell her, though. I was very honest about warning her against getting with him. But you guys said that I was just trying to ruin our marriage out of jealousy and refused to listen to me at all.
But things are going really, really badly here for us. I mean, Kim's husband is just a terrible man. And I think he actually just hates women in general. You have no idea the kinds of things that Kim and I are having to go through here every single day.
But she's already been married to this guy for a year. You mean to tell me that she never realized the kind of person her husband was until now?
According to your sister, her husband only really changed after she had her kid. I guess he was hiding his true self from her until he had an heir. It was all to trap her into this marriage, though, and now we're both trapped in this situation. He is such a horrible man, I can't believe it.
Okay, well, do you mind if I just ask what exactly he's doing that's making living with him so awful? Are you sure you're not just blowing things out of proportion?
Of course I'm not. How could you even say that? You have no idea what it's like here under this horrible rule. He makes Kim and I do chores from the morning until the evening, and he never ever helps out. And he started demanding that I pay him ever since he moved here. Not only that, but even sold part of the land I owned.
Wow, he certainly sounds like quite the piece of work, doesn't he? Honestly, that's even worse than some of the things I heard from college.
It's just horrible, Clarence. And now there are going to be some cheap apartments going up on land that's been in our family for generations. I can't believe he did that. It's just horrible.
Well, it sounds to me like that might have been his goal in moving in with you in the first place. He probably figured that we had too much land for just you and thought he could make a quick buck selling it.
But how could he do that? We had our land in our family for years and he just sold it. Not only that, but he stole my credit and debit cards and even makes me hand over my retirement money when it comes in. He takes everything for himself and leaves Kim and I with practically nothing.
I see. Well, why don't you try reaching out to his family and asking for some kind of help?
I have tried that, but his whole family is a bunch of freaks. And I haven't even told you the worst part. Kim's husband literally kicked Kim and I out of the house, and now his family has brought all their stuff and have moved in. They're trying to take over the house, I tell you.
So then, does he have the kid, or do you have the kid?
This whole thing has always been about him just getting a son. So he kicked us out but held on to the child. Can you believe that? He even stole Kim's own son from her.
Yeah, that is really sad, but I'm still not going to do anything to help you.
You have to come here and help us, though. You need to kick him out of the house for us. I'm serious.
Yeah, just why would I want to do something like that again? I mean, you've already said that you never wanted to talk to me again, and I don't really feel like stepping into this.
But you're the son in our family. You need to step in and protect us from these crazy people.
Yeah, I just don't get why I would want to do that for you. I mean, it just doesn't seem like I have much to gain from it.
To gain from it? This is your mother and sister that we're talking about here. You don't gain anything, you do it because we're family.
Right, no, I get what you're saying. But you said that I'm no son of yours, though, remember? So I don't really see either of you as family that I need to protect.
What is the matter with you? Where did I go so wrong in raising a son like you?
Let's not forget here that you were the one that kicked me out to begin with. You're acting like I'm in the wrong, but are you going to acknowledge your own hand in this? Because it sounds to me like you landed yourself in this spot yourself.
I didn't do anything at all, and it's just sad how you're trying to make yourself into the victim here.
Mom, you have always tried to put me down ever since I was a little kid. You controlled my life, demanded that I pay you, and then you kicked me out when it was more convenient for you. So why in the world do you think I'm going to turn around and help you now that you're asking for it?
Please, your sister and I are really at our wits' end. We need your help here. Don't you feel bad for us?
Not really now. I really don't care what happens to either of you, if I'm being honest. I probably won't even go to your funeral. We're through, Mom.
So you're really just not going to do anything for us? We are begging for your help here. We need you, Clarence.
Well, you should have thought about that before you kicked me out. Actually, there's a lot of things you should have done different over the years, but none of that is my problem anymore. After that, my mom continued to blow up my phone trying to beg me for help. I didn't respond to any of her texts, however, and in the end, I blocked her on every available medium. I felt like I had no choice because she just kept sending messages about how hard her life was and all the things that her and Kim were going through. Apparently, Kim was thinking of divorce, but was afraid that she would have to pay her husband alimony and lose the child in the process. Since blocking her, though, I have been thinking less and less about them. They're nobody to me now as far as I'm concerned. I just want to concentrate on living my life for now.